back and to the final of the action here live at the K2 Crawley, the English National Badminton Championships, and the last final of the day is the men's doubles between the number 1 seeds Marcus Ellis and Chris Langridge and the number 2 seeds Matthew Nottingham and Harley Tower. And the players just coming out onto court. Marcus Ellis and Chris Langridge, the number 1 seeds. Now their route through to this final came with a bye in the opening round, a 21-17, 21-6 win against Banbrick and Bradley, and then in the quarterfinals, a 21-11, 21-12 win against Backzala and Coles, and in the semi-final, a tough match indeed against Peter Briggs and Tom Wolfenden, 15-21, 21-13, 21-8, and their opponents just making their way onto court as well. The number 2 seeds, they had a bye in the opening round, and then in the second round came against a very tough opponent, Gary Fox, who just played in the mixed doubles final earlier today, and Ben Starsky. And that match went to 3 and very tight indeed. 18-21, 21-16 coming through in the tough deciding game, 21-19. And then on to the quarter-final match between Dean George and Chris Tonks. And they came through 12-21, 24-22, 21-17. So it's been a real tough route through the draw in the earlier rounds, but in the semi-final against Lane and Vendy, Nottingham and Harley Tower won 21-9, 21-12 to show why they are the second seed and why they deserve that place in this final. Now, Chris Langridge and Marcus Ellis, a new partnership on the scene. Chris Langridge, the sort of senior player within the men's doubles game, currently aged 29, captain of the National Badminton League team, Surrey Smashers, and hasn't lost a match so far in that NBL. 3 Commonwealth medals recently in Glasgow, 2 silvers and a bronze. He's got 16 international titles to his name on the EBU circuit, and has 3 national titles as well. He did the double in 2013. His partner Marcus Ellis, 25 years of age, from Huddersfield in Yorkshire, 2-time national finalist, beaten in the 2013 mixed doubles and men's doubles final. Langridge actually beat his partner Marcus Ellis in those finals, and now they've teamed up together. Recently they've won the Italian Open in Rome, and they have to make their way up the world rankings. Chris Langridge has actually had a high ranking of 18 in the world, but until they get a full quota of tournaments, it will be very difficult to tell where they're going to sit. Their opponents, Matt Nottingham, aged 22, from Cheshire. This is his first national final. He's a doubles specialist, but he did play mixed doubles here with Gail Ems. He's won gold and silver at the European Junior Championships with Chris Cole in 2011. He's now entered the top 50 in the world at senior level. And believe it or not, he once had soccer trials at Blackburn Rovers at the under 11 age. Harley Tower, TOWLER, the 22-year-old from Lincoln, part of the GB system now, but was studying at University of Loughborough as well as Vicky Moore and Williams. He's got a degree in sport and exercise science. Actually, the British Universities champion on 2 occasions, quarter finalist of the World University Games. Got Loughborough Sportsman of the Year as well. He's a Welsh international champion with his current partner Matt Nottingham, and also semi-finalist at the Scottish Open and Irish Open last season. So probably, realistically, Nathan, if we've looked down the play of today, the 5 finals, this is the toughest one to call.
Absolutely right, Anthony. And this potentially could well be the most exciting final of the day. The men's doubles, these 4 players play and train against each other on a daily basis at the National Centre in Milton Keynes. 3 of the players on court, no national titles. Chris Langridge, by far the most experienced player on court. And I think we'll see him try and use that experience and that nous of being in this situation to the advantage of the Langridge-Ellis partnership. But it certainly will be fast, frantic, full of jump smashers, great defence.
Nottingham, Cheshire, Harley Tower, Lincolnshire.
And I'm really finding this one hard to call.
Well, I think the favourites going into the match
and
are
on my
Marcus
left,
Ellis and Chris
Marcus
Langridge.
Ellis, Yorkshire, Christopher Langridge, Surrey.
More senior players, more reputation on the World Tour. Langridge has got 3 national titles to his name.
To Marcus Ellis, Laval.
But it was the semi-final yesterday, Nathan. Matt Nottingham and Harley TOWLER really showed what they're made of.
They looked impressive in their semi-final victory, but the start is strong by Langridge.
1-love.
Grunting as his smash always does. Seems to give him an extra % in the power.
Well, that came down very hard. And his facial expression, he really looks up for this one, Chris Langridge. That one finds the net. Chris Langridge got his first national title with you, Nathan.
He did. I think he was actually supposed to be playing with yourself, Anthony. You got hit in the eye. I stepped in last minute, and I can tell you that when we won the last point to get Chris's first national title, it was one of my fondest memories of watching someone celebrate, running around the arena up in Manchester or Bolton, I believe it was. It was a fantastic moment for him.
Good rally. Good defensive skills from Marcus Ellis. All 4 players possess good defences. But it goes through in the end. A big power smash from Marcus Ellis, setting up Langridge at the net.
And for me, Marcus Ellis, this final, if there's one player out there who it's really important for, it's Marcus Ellis. We know about his talent, his speed. You know, he's been close to top players in the world before, giving them problems. And I think if he can get a national title, you know, that's just another step for him to settle him and make him believe that he can go on and achieve at the highest level.
Indeed, and it's a great start for them, 4-0. Not letting the 22-year-olds settle at all. They've really come out the blocks firing. How important do you think it is, Nathan, to get that first national title in terms of if you want to go out into the world and compete against the very best?
It is important, and it's just more for your own kind of security, the knowledge that you're the best in the country, and when you win a national title, you are the best in the country that year. And for Ellis and Langridge, if they take this title today, they'll be the best in the country, and they'll have that knowledge as they go into every match for the rest of the season, the rest of the year.
Good defence from Nottingham and TOWLER. But for me, giving away too much lifting at the moment. Can't win a match without attacking. And that's why they trail 5-1 at the moment. But I also think that the National Championships adds a lot of pressure to a young player.
It's a great practice. It's not practice, of course, it's the national, but it's a practice of putting yourself in a pressure situation. Especially for Ellis and Langridge this year at the Nationals, they're top seeds, they're expected to win. And there's a lot of pressure on that.
Service over. 2-6.
A service mistake by Ellis gives a quick point to the Nottingham TOWLER partnership.
Oh, Langridge knew the second he'd hit that one, it was going wide.
3-6.
Men's doubles all about the mid-court domination these days. With this scoring system, it seems to have changed the game from almost a skill base to all-and-out speed and certainly power. And it's whoever dominates that mid-court that wins the games. Good defence from Langridge. Oh, could you believe it? What a shot! Great celebration from Langridge as well. The string was broken. He knew he couldn't do anything else other than go for the winner.
Well, to play that shot and see that gap, but to do it with a broken string. Incredible shot by Langridge. There it is.
Service over.
It's a do or die by Langridge with a broken string. as he celebrates with the crowd.
Well, you could see the disgust on Harley Towler's face as well. You know, there only was one gap on the court, and Langridge managed to find it.
Nothing more frustrating than losing a rally when a player has broken their string mid-rally and the rally's still going on and they're able to win it still.
Well, that bit of fortune for Langridge brings up a 7-3 lead. 5 minutes been played. Good mid-court play from Matt Nottingham. They do look very solid on defence though, Marcus Ellis and Chris Langridge. Is it worth the younger players just taking the pace out of the game, Nathan?
Well, certainly mixing it up would work well.
5-7.
Even if you're playing against the hardest hitters, the biggest smashers in the world, if they're constantly using the same pace against you all the time, you can get used to it. You get used to the speed of the game. Mixing the pace up is always something that we advise young players to do in games. It is easy, though, to get drawn into a fast-hitting game. And this time, it's the attack by Langridge and Ellis. It's too much, it's too consistent. An attack, we would say, always beats defence. The attacking pair would 98% win. There aren't really any just defensive pairs in the world of badminton anymore, so it's attacking badminton that wins.
Great defence. And what an angle from Matt Nottingham. Slicing the shuttle. You could hear him ripping across the feathers.
Towler's defence was fantastic in the middle of the rally. Ellis and Langridge were attacking from the front service line. But the slice finish, that's what we're talking about. Didn't need the power. The gap was there and he found it with the slice.
Now, obviously, Nathan, we come through a slightly different era to these current players. Played against the likes of Jonas Rasmussen and Lars Paska, who barely ever hit those full-out smashes. They went for angles and slice to stop your opponent actually being able to whip you around the court too much.
Well, absolutely right. We've seen the Danes, especially in Europe, you know, set the standard for men's doubles in Europe with their mixing it up, their you know, clever set plays, and they've done that over the years so well. And as we say, Pask and Rasmussen from Denmark were world champions, all England champions, and really set the benchmark for European men's doubles.
And now been backed up by Bowen Morgensen, who got the silver at the Olympics in London 2012. And that's good attacking play from the #1 seeds. We're just going back to that point, Nathan, but the thing that's taken them to those sorts of titles and those sorts of medals is the fact that they don't just go out there and blast everything as hard as they can.
No, they're very clever. I know Matthias Bo very well. He's a good friend, and they are very organised. And with Carsten Mogensen, I would say they're the most organised men's doubles partnership in the world. They may not be the very best players in the world, but they're world medalists, Olympic medalists, you know.
Great defence from Langridge.
Incredible rally in the end. It seemed to go on and on, attacking defence, both sides. It's TOWLER in the end, at the back, jumping back. Both players went for it. A mistake on defence. And they've pulled themselves back in this match.
Harley Towler, for me, definitely the most improved player currently in the England squad. I studied at university, trained hard while he was there. Again, I used to go and train with him. But obviously with studies as well, makes it very, very difficult for a player. But since he's gone to Milton Keynes, definitely benefited from the system.
He has. And he isn't recognisable from the player 2 years ago. He's a completely different player now. His level has improved drastically. You know, he wasn't in contact with the England squad or had, you know, being able to play with those guys on a regular basis.
11-8.
And once he had that, we saw a very rapid improvement up to the level that he is now.
Always the case, followed up by a horrific shot. But it's 11-8 in favour of the top seeds, Marcus Ellis and Chris Langridge, after 9 minutes. 11-8.
No coaches for either of the pairs out there. Sometimes when we have these players in the finals, they'll be coached by their old coach when they're in the England setup. They won't be coached. No coaching is allowed by any of the England coaches during the English Nationals. So sometimes it's a former coach or a friend, as was the case with Gary Fox, who was coaching the ladies' doubles of Smith and Olver. I don't think either pair will be too disappointed with the start to this game. Obviously, Langridge and Ellis leading 11-8, but as a first final for both Nottingham and TOWLER, they won't be too discouraged with quite a good start. I know they're trailing by 3, but there's been some positives in it for them.
They're definitely in the match, that's for sure. Just need to try and step up the court a little bit more. And that's why, because there, again, the cross-court block is on.
12-8.
Matt Nottingham's first thought at the moment is to hit everything hard. Got to find those gaps to the side of the court and soft. 12-8. Oh, a stumble from Langridge. Oh, that's better. But it was the taking the pace off the game from TOWLER that sets up the rally.
Well, soft push followed by hard one. This time it was Langridge putting his net up to looking to intercept. The shuttle was too fast. Came onto him too quick.
Well, certainly the most competitive match we've had of the finals so far. Men's doubles always delivers. The one game that most people like to watch because of the speed and power. Good layoff from TOWLER. Oh, skills. And that's great play. Wonderful rally from the number 2 seeds.
Well, they had it all there. We just talked about the need of gap finding with softer shots. And TOWLER and Nottingham, for me, almost played the perfect rally there. They controlled it from the outset. They moved the shuttle around with pace, but also took the pace off and found the gaps. Eventually just waiting for that shorter shot to put it away.
The camera. Camera, please. The camera.
Back to within 1.
11-12.
Now, obviously, Marcus Ellis, like you said, Nathan, not got a national title to date. He'll be the one who really wants to take this title to really get that springboard forwards. Brilliant cross from Ellis. Like an easy put away, but that's a delicate, clever shot from Langridge. Looked like he was going to kill, checks the shot. Lovely spin shot. 13-11.
13.
Oh, it's a clever stop. The defence was getting deeper and deeper by Nottingham and TOWLER. Almost standing in the rear tram line. The gap was there. Langridge found it.
Well, I think Chris Langridge should have left that for Marcus Ellis. Ellis was pushing right up behind.
12-13.
And although still trailing Nottingham and TOWLER, you've seen a slight shift in the momentum here, and they're looking quite positive.
Well, tactically right now, I think they're playing the better badminton. Oh, but that's look at the net cord. It bounced twice.
Service over.
Now, Nathan, I know that
14,
was probably the best shot you
12.
owned in badminton. The returner serve onto the net cord. Well, let's see that again. Look at that. 2 bounces.
Oh, that was my very favourite shot playing. And all my opponents thought it was pure luck whenever I hit a net cord return, but used to play that in practice every single day
15,
because I knew how
12.
much it frustrated opponents.
A 3-point lead opened up now for ELLIS and LANGRIDGE. Bit of luck, but fortune favours the brave. LANGRIDGE is in again. Oh, great skills from Matt Nottingham. Well read by TOWLER. Great rally. Great put away at the end from Matt Nottingham.
Well, he did absolutely everything in that rally. We saw him at the front of the court, the back of the court, angles, an incredible
13,
cross-court
15.
spinning net shot, and he finds himself in the centre for the kill put away. That really is now showing his full array of shots, Anthony, and what he's bringing to the, not only to the court today, but to the future of English badminton, because he looks like he's got a lot of potential.
Well, it's nice to just see him play with skill. If you're going to be a world-class player, you actually have to have everything. And well read from TOWLER. I've talked to some of the younger English
14,
players about if you want to be
15.
good, you've got to be able to do everything good, and skill is a big part of it.
Well, the racket was flailing around the head, but he was in control of it, and they're back to within 1.
Good flick serve. Oh, good skill again from Nottingham.
Well, he's growing into this game now. He's seeing it earlier. He's finding the gaps.
15, all.
That is such a difficult skill. Low down, forehand, cross-court net.
Great thing for me is that he's not afraid to try. You know, he probably knows that if he plays a flat, hard game against ELLIS and LANGRIDGE, he can't win. And he's willing to take a few
Service fault
risks.
called.
Oh, service fault called.
Service over.
Did look
16,
quite high, to be fair.
15.
Well, the shuttle had landed out as well, Anthony, short of that service line. So it was a double whammy for Nottingham.
Oh, that's wild. That was a really quick flick serve from LANGRIDGE.
17, 15.
Just as they've got themselves back in with some fantastic long rally skill work. 2 really quick, easy points. The Nottingham service mistake and the return mistake by TOWLER.
Good defence from LANGRIDGE and an easy put away from ELLIS. Just plopped the shuttle over the net. But it was the defensive skills from LANGRIDGE that set it up.
18, 15.
Just require 3 now for the opening game. Oh, the finger wagging from Chris LANGRIDGE. That's when you know he's happy and fired up.
Oh, that's his sign. That's his it's all going to plan sign. And at 18-13. Make that 18-16. Slightly loose serve by LANGRIDGE.
Service over. 16, 18.
Just having a word with the umpire, Anthony. I think he thinks Harley Tower was a little bit quick onto that serve.
Well, it wasn't the tightest serve he's ever hit. Back within 2.
Chris.
19 minutes been played.
Fault.
But that's a good returner serve as well.
Service over.
Straight back at TOWLER.
19, 16.
A couple of these serves just popping up a little bit. They need to be skimming this net cord so that your opponent doesn't jump and kill. Ellis now to serve, 19-16. Oh, the lifts were nowhere near deep enough. Not really going past the half court. There's no way Langridge could have got that back.
Service over.
You can't give Harley Towler
19.
2 half-court smashes. He's bound to... The first one came back. The second one was bound to hit the floor.
Marcus. Thank you.
Defence. But too much power, what a rally!
Well, it was getting louder and louder. Not just the shuttle coming off the racket, but the grunts by Marcus Ellis as he continued with the attack.
Service over.
He finally
20.
got the
Game
short lift
point.
for his partner.
17.
Langridge put it away. Game point for the top seeds.
Brilliant from Nottingham again. But it's Langridge who steps in to clinch the opening game. Frantic, crazy mid-court exchanges. And it's the number 1 seeds, Marcus Ellis and Chris Langridge, who take the opening one in 22 minutes, 21-17.
Langridge, 21-17.
Well, what an exchange. That last rally, Anthony. It seemed to everyone on court was getting overexcited, wanting to put in the shuttle on the floor, blasting in the mid-court. The shuttle was getting slower and slower. The drives weren't going anywhere, and it just needed someone to take the pace off. But in the end, if these hard rallies continue, Langridge and Ellis are coming out on top more often than not when this is the game style that we're seeing.
Well, it's their title. If the game stays flat and hard, these two men on screen right now, Chris Langridge and Marcus Ellis, are going to be the winners. It's up to the youngsters to have the nous to be able to say, we're not going to play your style. You know, do you think it's possible, Nathan, to actually never hit a hard shot in the mid-court?
It's definitely possible. What we see with players in the mid-court, they drive, they move forward. So the gaps are turning it across, the gaps are over the top. Yes, if the shuttle's coming up towards you, let's hit hard, let's hit it down. But if not, let's use the gaps on the court to outmaneuver your opponent, and then it keeps them guessing a little bit more, and then makes them unsure if their movement forward is actually the right one.
So the gaps are on the cross block and over the top. And that's what Matt Nottingham and Harley Towler have got to try and do if they're to turn this match around.
We saw glimpses of it from Matt Nottingham in that first game.
The ball.
He's the player on court who's looking to take the pace out of the shuttle a little bit more. Harley Towler, we know, much improved, but his game is power, his game is defensive power.
Good
Service
forward
over.
movement from Harley Towler. It's that
love.
flat, hard drives again. I know it works occasionally, but it definitely plays into the hands of the better pair, because that's their comfort zone. And it's 1-0. That's short. That's an easy put away from Marcus Ellis. Good rotation from the top seeds.
Service over.
The problem with defending constantly in a rally is the shuttle always gets slower, which means the lifts get shorter and shorter. So the attackers are moving forward and forward in the court, and it inevitably ends up, as we saw there, with the forward player at the net getting the chance to put it away.
That's brilliant. That's an angle. That's what we're talking about. Take the pace out the game. Find those gaps on the cross.
Service over. 2-1.
Great block by Matt Nottingham. And he's jumping out. You see full control of the body while he's in mid-air. And then he can do anything he wants with the shuttle while he's up there. This time chooses to cut the shuttle back cross-court into the tram line for the winner.
Well, for me, it's Matt Nottingham is the only one who's really showing the skills. And that's just wide.
3-1.
But we're not seeing any stop drops. You know, real deceptive play at the forecourt. But it's 3-1 in favour of the number 2 seeds.
And we do love a good stop drop, don't we, Anthony? You know,
absolutely we do.
We saw it a few times in previous nationals coming from your racket. Famous left-hand stop drop. But it is a difficult shot, and it is easier to hit harder and, you know, keep the pressure on like these guys do. But that's where defence comes a bit easier when you're used to the smash coming down.
Oh no, Marcus Ellis does have a very good stop drop. We've just not seen it as yet. Maybe we'll see it in the second half.
The question is, with the favourites winning, first game in the bag, does he need to use it? Why change when your format you've come with on the day is winning? Yes, it might be needed against better players in the world as they step up as a new partnership now into better tournaments.
Now, one thing, Nathan, just watching TOWLER and Matt Nottingham on defence, they are so deep. You know, that's about 3 or 4 rallies I've watched the replay and seen that they are almost, you know, in the back tram line by the end. You know, they should be 2-3 feet further up the court.
When you're so deep defending, then it's so difficult to get a good length back. Talked about the attack. It's going to get shorter and shorter for Langridge and Ellis, so they've got to keep up the court when they're defending and really take it on.
And that goes long as well. 4-3 now in the second game. It was Langridge and Ellis that took the opening game, 21-17. Good attacking play. Langridge really getting fired up now, roaring after every good rally they play.
5-3.
And Chris Langridge absolutely loves the English National Championships. I think this kind of tournament is designed for him. February, first week in February, he always loves this time of year. Be one of the most important tournaments of the year for Chris Langridge. That's how much he loves it.
6-3.
You know, I played a year with Chris Langridge and I sort of said to him how important it is to be able to win your national title. Because if you can't win this, how can you go on the world tour and expect to take on the Chinese, the Indonesians, the Koreans, if you can't deal with the pressure here, right now? Just imagine what it's like in Olympic Games. So I think it's fantastic that Chris Langridge has that mentality that he's going to come here and win. Oh, and he stepped forwards. He's apologising, but it was the forward movement that allowed to get such a tight shot in. Yes, lucky with the net cord. They take a 7-3 lead. Now, considering they were 3-1 down, that's 6 points on the bounce.
It's danger time for Nottingham TOWLER. Confidence building for the top seeds. They've got to respond now.
Service over. 4-7.
And a rare block into the net from Chris Langridge.
5-7.
Just didn't really quite get his foot forwards.
No, the shot was correct. He was moving forward. The gap was there. But the gap that was for Nottingham and TOWLER right back in it now. Just seems to be a little lull in the game now, Anthony. We had a real burst by the top seeds, you know, threw themselves out to a nice lead, and then just seems to have gone a little bit flat for them now.
Well, players do have peaks and troughs throughout a match, that's for sure. You should never let your opponent back in. I remember my dad saying to me when I was growing up, when they're down, stand on them. Can't let players of this quality back into a match. That's good attacking play from Matt Nottingham. He's the man that needs to get more involved in that forecourt. He's got to get himself forwards and using that skill that we saw in that opening game. 7 apiece. Oh, brilliant placement down the line from Marcus Ellis. Chris Langridge giving him the wiggle.
Service over. 8.
That was good.
7.
Well, I think Matt Nottingham thought about going for it, called his partner, but it was too late. The shot was too close to the floor.
And a loose flick serve from Ellis. TOWLER jumping back well. Great athleticism.
8-all.
Marcus Ellis is known as a skill player, you know, a fast, obviously athletic player, but also skill who likes to turn the shuttle. But we're not seeing much of this in the final yet. As you say, it's Matt Nottingham who's the one who's looking to pace out and turn the shuttle. Ellis keeping it really simple, straight and hard.
Oh, that's well read. Brilliant anticipation from Matthew Nottingham. But do you think the players are being told to not play these tricky shots? You know, being advised,
9,
don't go for a risky
8.
because you may miss.
Well, I certainly wouldn't call it risky to block the shuttle into an open court. And we've seen Marcus Ellis do that successfully over the last few years, especially at mixed doubles. And I think you can take that mixed doubles mentality onto a men's doubles court and be the gap finder, be the player who's pushing the shuttle into the gaps over the top.
Service over.
You know, yes, we all need to play fast and hard and to match what our opponents are doing, but then we've got to be the ones who step out and go, hey, I'm going to be the one who's going to change this rally and make sure that we get the attack.
Well, much like we saw earlier in the day with Chris Adcock and Gabby Adcock, they had the whole lot, the whole array, the speed, the power, the skill. And that was the big difference. That was what makes them world number 6. And that goes wide from Ellis. Really is a scrappy second end so far.
10-9.
10-9 now, the second seed's lead. Change of shuttle required. Something a lot of players do when it's all scrappy. Get rid of it. Get rid of that shuttle. We'll try and hope for a better play with a better shuttle.
I know I never like changing the shuttle whenever my opponent's asked, because for me, if they want the shuttle changed, it means they don't like it. And that meant I want them to keep playing with it.
Well, Matt Nottingham had the right idea there, but Harley TOWLER really didn't read the play of his partner. Stayed towards the back. Marcus Ellis with a good net shot. That didn't even need to be tight. 10-all. Good stepping in from Harley TOWLER.
Interval.
That's where he's comfortable. Likes to step in and drive. But I'm not convinced that that's Matt Nottingham's game.
Well, no, as partnership, they've got to complement each other. They've got to work to each other's strengths, and they don't have to play the same well. You know, if Matt Nottingham wants to be the creator, the one who's turning the shuttle into the gaps, and leave Harley to do the more, we should say, basic hard work, hard hitting, hard defence, that absolutely could form a formidable partnership. I'm just not sure if this year is 1 year too early for Harley TOWLER. He's improved so much in the last 2 years. I'm not quite sure he's ready to step up to be national champion just yet, but they're well in this final, so he's got every chance, but it could well be, for me, 1 year too early.
Well, 22 years of age. I know my big year was at 23. That's when we obviously started playing together and performing on the World Tour, and we got to the final of the European Championships that year. And obviously national title as well. Good rotation and good attacking play from the top seeds. They look fluent when they're moving in that way. They really do look like a good pair, but it's not all the time.
Now, when you see a rally like we've just seen, it was LANGRIDGE attacking, ELLIS one push then kill. You know, they do look fluent, but they're just not able to maintain that level all the way through. They got a lead, they let it slip, and now we're back level.
Unlucky cross-court block, but that's skill. That's great skill from Matt Nottingham. TOWLER got lucky on the cross-court block. It was a miss hit off the frame.
Service
Actually,
over.
one of the most sensible
12,
shots he's
11.
actually played. Opened up the court. Matt Nottingham comes in and cross-block winner. That's more like it.
That's nice to see. You can see the open gap there. You've got to have confidence to play that nice cross block, though.
Well, it's obvious when you're watching from the stands and watching from the TV, but when you're in the thick of it, it is difficult to find these gaps.
Service over.
It is, as we see,
12 all.
Harley TOWLER that time coming in for exactly the same shot. He plays a straight push, quite hard, attack straight back at him, and he's not able to retrieve it. Edgy game, though. No pair really looking like they're wanting to take the momentum yet. Looks pretty tight as that one drifts wide by Marcus Ellis.
Service over. 13.
Well, no strong
12.
long rallies at all at the moment. It's all about serve and return in the mid-court. That's better. That's more like it. Harley TOWLER stepping in, taking the pace off. And there was the gap.
14-12.
14-12 now. A good run of points for the youngsters. Ooh. Nottingham looking for the intercept, but this time he gets it.
Well, he was unlucky. He read the shot brilliantly. The cross lift, jumped and missed
15-12.
it. TOWLER kept the attack going though, and he got the second bite of the cherry and put it away. 3 points the gap.
Well, the shuttle was coming
Service
very quick
over.
through the net. Matt Nottingham
13,
definitely doing the right
15.
thing for me though, Nathan. Constantly stepping in, trying to get into that net.
Well, they've got to attack to win. I think they know that. Defence wasn't the way in the first part of that first game. Well, they're stepping in, but they're often playing cross-court now on defence. They're trying to work the court open.
That's gone long.
Service over.
That shuttle seemed to
16,
fly a little bit
13.
further than the previous. That was the right idea from Ellis. That gap of 3 once more. That's wide. They must have heard us though,
Service
Nathan. They
over.
are going for these cross-court blocks.
14-16.
The cross defence by TOWLER that time was good. ELLIS stepped forward, played the net shot, got the lift, short lift for LANGRIDGE. The pressure smash was too much for Nottingham.
Good from ELLIS. That's a well-read point from Harley. TOWLER waiting on the forehand. Marcus Ellis choosing the wrong shot.
Service
3
over.
points lead restored. 17-14.
Wow, that was a great backhand smash drive by Nottingham. TOWLER had stepped out on the forehand, got the reply he was looking for into the open court, and they're maintaining this lead here.
Another good stepping up the court from Matt Nottingham.
18-14.
Crucial in men's doubles that your front foot goes forwards to every shot. If it goes backwards, you're losing momentum and power with your body weight not going in. And on that time, Matt Nottingham doing it perfectly. And again, he's definitely the aggressor.
Well, I might have to take my words back on it being a year too early for TOWLER, because this partnership looks like it's heading for this second game.
Well, they're kind of using the tactics we've discussed, Nathan, about taking the pace out. Oh, and it was there. You can see the gap though as well. One straight, one cross.
19.
Just couldn't quite pull it off. But it's still 15-19. It's a great lead to have at this point in the game. 41 minutes been played. TOWLER looking to jump the serve. Oh, brilliant defence. Oh, well, it was there for Nottingham. I thought the cross block was on again. He went for straight and missed.
He went early.
19.
It's a missed opportunity to get them to game point. And they've done well to stay in the rally, but they're closing in. The top seeds are coming back.
Short. Well played, Chris LANGRIDGE. Great athleticism from Marcus Ellis at the back of the court. LANGRIDGE saw how deep his opponents were and just laid the shuttle to the net.
17-19.
Clever vision by LANGRIDGE. When your opponents are in trouble. Again, TOWLER deep on defence. Got to get himself forward to have any chance.
That was short from Ellis. Keeps persisting on going for that deep cross court. It's not quite getting far enough.
Over.
And that's 3 game points.
Game point.
For the
17.
number 2 seeds. Chris LANGRIDGE asking for a change of shuttle. Now this new one will fly that little bit quicker.
It certainly will. And each pair will be desperate to get on the attack with this brand new crisp shuttle. Smashers will be a bit faster. Be a bit easier to put it on the floor. Nottingham and TOWLER, first chance for the set.
Well, that's great play from Marcus Ellis. That's well read. Good
Service
return to
over.
the side and stepping across.
18-20.
Now it's all on Marcus Ellis' serve now. Trail by 2.
We've seen very few flick serves so far, Anthony. The pressure's been all on the net. It's Ellis.
That's a great cross-court drive from Chris LANGRIDGE. TOWLER not quite moving his feet to get around the shuttle. Finds the net. Now the pressure's on. 19-20.
Service fault
What a
called.
false
Service
serve
over.
called on game
Game.
point. Unbelievable. Marcus Ellis called for a fault, serving too high,
Marcus.
and that's cost them the game. Unbelievable.
Well, you wouldn't believe that.
Second
He'd
game
done
won
two
by
tight
Matthew Nottingham
serves.
and Harley TOWLER.
The third serve was tight, 19-20.
1-game all.
And the service judge has alleged that Marcus Ellis struck the shuttle too high. And we are going to a deciding game here in the men's doubles final. Well, a great fight back by Nottingham and TOWLER after the first game. And they really stamped a little authority near the end of that second game, looking at moving forward. Matt Nottingham, really the gap finder, the creator of the partnership, really dominated that second game for me. And now it's going to be LANGRIDGE and ELLIS, the top seeds and favourites, who are going to have to come up with something slightly different for this third and final game. The men's doubles, as we expected, would be the tightest of the 5 finals, and it's proving to be just that. Well, the crowd here at the K2 Crawley, very enthusiastic for both pairs on court in this final. We've got one game to go. That's the final game shootout. The top 2 seeds to battle it out for the title. And it's that man, Matt Nottingham, who starts the final set well. Dominating at the net, taking the first point. A good put away by Marcus Ellis. Strong start to the rally there, pushing deep, making his opponent's play on the stretch backhand. Easy put away.
47 minutes now been played. Opening game 21-17 to Ellis and LANGRIDGE, and it's the number 2 seeds that hit back 21-19. Just at the start of this third game, crucial start for both pairs. That second game, Nathan, really scrappy. Nobody really took control until right at the end, and the second seeds pulled out a few-point lead.
It was 13-all, 14-all. Saying in the break, it was Matt Nottingham. He was the creator. The guy really stamped his authority on that game, gave them the 5-point lead. They just hung on to it. Maybe a bit fortunate to get the service fault called at 19-20, but they took the game.
Now the service fault was called for too high, serving above the bottom rib. But we've talked about this before, Nathan. How on earth can you judge where the bottom rib of a player is?
Well, you can't. Even if they didn't have shirts on, you wouldn't be able to tell. It's a rule that's got to go. It's got to be scrapped because no one really knows where it is. And if that man sitting on the service judge's chair knows, then you know he's been to a different university or school than anyone else in the entire world.
Well, that's good anticipation from Nottingham. But I know you've talked about, Nathan, I know this probably applies to NBL, but starting with a high serve.
Well, it's an option. I don't think we'll see any changes in the serving rules in badminton, but you know, the men, especially in the men's doubles game, you know, the height of the players are serving now, and the sort of borderline legality of virtually everyone's serve now comes into question in every single match, and it's not what we want to be talking about. So if there is an option out there which keeps the badminton exciting, as Ellis just misses that one, then maybe we should look into it, because what people want to see, what the crowd want to see, we want to see attacking, we want to see defending, and that would certainly do that.
Well, there's a lot of players out there, and probably myself and yourself included in this, like to play on just the first 3 shots and try not to continue that. Bo and Mogensen, a classic example, want the rallies over quickly. And that's what happens when your serves are too high.
Exactly the case.
That's short. Great attacking play from Marcus Ellis, throwing everything at every single shot it came to him.
It was strong, constant attack. The problem for Matt Nottingham was he was trying to repeat the same shot over and over again on defence. Hard, straight, back, and in the end, attack beats defence when you're not trying to change the game.
I really need somebody to step up now. I feel like Chris Langridge, being the senior player on court now, really needs to just take control of the game. And that's wide.
4-5.
You're right, Anthony. It is Chris Langridge who you feel is the man on court, who's going to relish this kind of final game atmosphere, that challenge. He's been there before, he's seen it, and he's done it and achieved. So we do expect that he's the man on court who's going to potentially dominate the court, but it takes two in a partnership. He needs Ellis also.
Great defence from the younger pair, and then it's TOWLER that's stepping in again. They are soaking up the attack well.
I think Marcus Ellis just caught his head there as he went to hit that shuttle. Top of the head being caught by the racket as he went for the crouch defence. Never a nice feeling.
But it's a great start to this third game for the 22-year-olds. That's well read at the net. It did catch the frame from Chris Langridge.
5-6.
There are still those gaps open at the net, on the cross especially. Makes you wonder why they don't bring a coach with them, Nathan, to give you that information.
Well, it is surprising that neither pair has got a coach. You know, they all have friends and, you know, even family that, or old coaches that they've been working with in the past, and just a few words of advice. Just a little bit of composure. Fantastic shot by Matthew Nottingham this time. We're talking about the cross gaps. You can't play them every time. You can't move it cross. Then it's obvious. Nottingham jumping early to the forehand though. Great shot. Moves forward after the backhand block. Just turns it cross. Open court.
7-5. Now to Nottingham and TOWLER. Oh, the cross courts were in. Marcus Ellis this time, finding the net cord. Harley TOWLER nearly pulled that off. It was hopeful.
Marcus Ellis's fantastic cross-court net absolutely hugged the tape as he stepped forward. Harley TOWLER doing his best on full stretch to turn it back cross-court. Couldn't quite manage it.
Now Chris Langridge not happy with something on court. Not entirely sure he thought the serve was legal, because he first of all went over to the service judge.
Well, that might just be a little bit of kidology by Langridge. You know, we talked about his experience. We know he likes to not delay game, but just use it tactically to his advantage, break it up a little bit.
What a serve, what a serve. Skimmed the net cord and found the line as well.
And is this the time? Is this Chris Langridge coming to the fore and taking control of this men's doubles final?
Well, with serves like that, it definitely could be. A lot more softer shots from both pairs. And you can't afford those loose defensive shots to the net player.
The first game was all smash bang wallop, and suddenly we've got everyone taking the pace out of all the blocks, all the net shots, just pushing it around, waiting for the opportunity now. This is the kind of men's doubles I think that these pairs need to play.
Well, it's certainly the kind of badminton they're going to have to get used to playing if they want to go and win against the top players in the world. It's certainly nice to see. We've been asking for it the whole match, and now it's here. A few miss-hits now creeping in between Nottingham and TOWLER. That's given them a good run of points. Ellis and Langridge going to a 9-7 lead. 55 minutes been played.
And a change of momentum here. Looking like TOWLER and Nottingham were getting on top at 7-5. But 4 in a row for Langridge and Ellis. And it's Chris Langridge's tight serves. Looking to just get a run. It's already 4.
That's short. It's great defence. And that's landed in. Well, it was a huge smash from Matt Nottingham. I think he believed it had come back. Great defensive play from Marcus Ellis.
I think he left that one more in hope as it was hanging in the air. His big smash had come back. He knew as that was coming down, it was going to land on the line. Big point.
Well, that's another error.
Interval.
Well, we said it was going to be Chris Langridge that needed to kind of take control, and he has done that just with his service.
Fantastic run, 6 points in a row for the Ellis-Langridge combination. 5 on the Langridge serve. And I didn't see this happening at 7-5 up for Nottingham and TOWLER, but the momentum's completely shifted. Now it looks like Langridge and Ellis, if they can maintain what they've been doing for the last couple of minutes, will go on and get the title. But as quickly as they have momentum, they could easily lose it.
Well, Nathan, you spoke about the fact that they were 7-5 up, and Chris Langridge went and had a word with the service judge because he wasn't happy. You said it was a little bit of gamesmanship, and they've won every single point since.
Players can do it. We've always done it. Everyone does it. But we learn it through experience. That's the big thing. Langridge, the most experienced on court, maybe realised that the game was not slipping away but moving in a direction he didn't want.
We've also got it a little bit more now. Matt Nottingham wants to change the shuttle. Chris Langridge arguing a little bit, playing with the mind of Matt Nottingham. Just to try and annoy your opponent a little bit. You know, like I say, we've used it so many times, and it can have an effect.
It's just a little bit to get your opponents away from what their definite game plan is, make them think about something else.
Oh, good placement. Well read, Harley TOWLER. Saw his opponents on the other side, used a bit of double action.
Service
Double
over,
action where you almost dummy the
11.
first shot and then play it on a second swing. Now it's 8-11, nearly up to an hour mark. 58 minutes been played.
Thank you. Stop now.
I think there's an imaginary butterfly in the hall. Chris Langridge seeing something. Oh, good call from Chris Langridge.
The shot was the
Service
right
over.
one by Matthew Nottingham,
12,
looking
8.
to go into the rear court, but he didn't turn it across court. He needed it to be in the far tram lines. It was 2 down the middle of the court.
Well, it was that thing of he changed the shuttle. He wanted a quicker shuttle. Wanted the new one, and the new one flies faster.
Yes! Come on.
Another error, didn't move forwards.
13-8.
What an amazing turnaround. You know, when you're all in ascendancy and you're moving quickly and stepping forwards, game's easy. When you lose a few points, you stop moving, you stop stepping. 5-point gap now.
We didn't see these errors at the end of the second game or at the start of this third. And they need to cut them straight out. That's Langridge again. Breaks the play up. Seeing something behind the court.
What a serve again. It
Service
really
over.
has been dominated the second part of this third game by
8.
just pure quality serving.
There's nothing better than a net skimming, tight, short serve. Really so hard to return. That one by Marcus Ellis clipped the tape on the way over.
Brilliant from Langridge. And that goes wide. Now the crowd trying to encourage the younger pair of Matt Nottingham and Harley
Service
Towler
over,
back into this
9,
game.
14.
Oh, Marcus Ellis jumping around with a bad foot, but I think it was more to do with the fact that he tried to change direction and it wasn't quite there because of the quality
10,
from Matt
14.
Nottingham.
I think it was the change of direction, as you say, Anthony, which made him stumble, made him try and change direction when his weight was going completely the other direction. Didn't see any twist. It doesn't look like he's taking any break here, so I think it's all okay with the ankle. It was just trying to change direction when your whole body weight's going the other way.
Back within 4, 10-14. 61 minutes now
Service
been
fault
played.
called. Service
And the
over.
service fault has been called for too high
10.
again. Well, it's a shame when service calls are made.
We're talking about the legality of a lot of serves and how borderline it is for all the players now, how high they're taking it. We don't want to see service faults called. We want that eradicating from the game.
That's good from Towler. Soft layoff to start with. Pounces on the net kill.
Service over. 11, 15.
Well, you feel like the younger pair have stopped the momentum now. It's whether they can really turn it in their favour. Close this 4-point gap.
And Marcus Ellis didn't move his feet forwards again. Can't wait for the shuttle to come onto you. You've got to go to it.
12,
Back to
15.
3. 15-12. 12-15, should I say.
Well, and it's Ellis who's got to step up. He's got to keep his feet moving. We know what we're going to get from Langridge.
And that was snatchy.
Well, I wasn't expecting that from him. That was actually an easy backhand kill. He's put it in the net.
13, 15.
6-point lead, Anthony. Down to 2.
Well, that's what pressure does to you. Closing in on your national title. Well read from Langridge at the net. And that's big power down the middle from Marcus Ellis. Got to stop lifting, closing in on this match.
Service over.
You cannot afford to just keep lifting your shots away.
13.
No, when you're trying to relift a smash, it's so difficult, the timing, especially off a half-court smash. It's just getting short to Ellis that time. Power from half-court.
Well read, Matt Nottingham.
Great anticipation. They'd done all the things they needed to in the rally to set it up. Matt Nottingham was
Service
on
over.
the move before Ellis had hit
14,
it. No time
16.
to react for Ellis.
Well, that's brilliant from Marcus Ellis. Getting up really high with the jump. Not afraid to go for that cross-court angle. You can see how far across the court Matt Nottingham is. It's almost offering the tram line to Marcus Ellis.
Well, he was stepping across. It's what the players are taught, to move together on defence. Harley TOWLER covering his tramline smash. Matt Nottingham in the middle, but that cross court is open. It's a fantastic smash by Ellis. I know the court's open, but he's still got to hit it.
Just need 4 now, the number 1 seeds. 17-14.
Yes.
And TOWLER again not stepping forwards on the block.
18.
No, he's leaving
14.
all the forecourt work now to Matt Nottingham step into. TOWLER staying back, just looking to control it. Both players have really got to move though forward. You've got to have 2 players at the net. Can't just rely on one player to do all of the sort of creating on court.
3 for the title. On the attack again. Oh, the chance was there for Ellis.
Service over.
Just a little bit snatchy
15,
on that one.
18.
Saw the finish, jumping in at full pace. Oh, you can see the anguish in his partner's face. So tight this match. 3-point lead. Could be gone very quickly.
That's long. Well left, Marcus Ellis.
The defence too strong.
19.
And now it's just 2 points from the title. Nottingham with the defence. Langridge and Ellis discuss their pre-point plan. And it's Ellis to serve to TOWLER. And another mistake by TOWLER on the push.
20. Match point.
And it's championship
15.
point for Chris Langridge and Marcus Ellis. Ellis looking for his first national title. It's 5 championship points.
Game.
And that's it. They are the national champions of 2015, Chris Langridge and Marcus Ellis. They take a hard-fought men's doubles final victory over Matt Nottingham and Harley TOWLER, 21-17, 19-21, 21-15. Mr. Nationals himself, Chris Langridge, with another men's doubles title. And Marcus Ellis, a first national title for the man from Yorkshire. No huge last point. The serve was tight and the cross gap was there, but it couldn't be found by Matt Nottingham. And the relief for Ellis getting over the line. He's been a national runner-up before. He's the champion this year. Langridge takes him to the national title. And joining the champions down on court, my co-commentator, who I believe is with the champions Chris Langridge and Marcus Ellis.
Guys, firstly, congratulations. Marcus, your first title, 3rd time lucky. Now, the previous 2 finals against this man next to you. Good tactic.
Yeah, I think it's the right idea to partner up with him, so I can finally win one. But yeah, I'm obviously just completely ecstatic to win. It was never easy to win, especially the first time. It's always in the back of your head. And maybe it wasn't the prettiest game, but I'm so happy that we managed to battle through and win in the end.
And Chris, 3 titles to yourself now, 3 different partners. Who are you going to bring next year?
I might be too old next year. Maybe you, Clarky. Nah.
No chance, mate. Sorry.
No, I've got to say well done to Marcus today. I mean, I think everyone could tell I was lagging a little bit at the end. I was getting a bit tired. I'm the old boy. So, you know, Marcus was putting a shift in. He was covering me a lot. So, you know, well done to him today.
a new partnership for the pair of you. You know, you are carrying some experience now with you. You know, looks like a great partnership that can go forwards. But you've got a title already under your belts on the European Tour. There's more to come, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when we play well, we're good. When I'm a bit slow, we're not. So, I mean, I need to, well, yeah, as a partnership, you know, we've had a great start. As you said, we had a good win in Italy just at the end of last year. We played really well. In training, we've been training really well. Everyone's been training well together at the start of this year. You know, it's been a great atmosphere, great environment. But yeah, we need to carry that on forward in the big tournaments.
And just a thought for your opponents, guys. You know, you're a bit more senior players than them. What about the way they've played this week?
Well, I know they've had tough games all the way through to the final, so they've certainly had it a lot rougher than what we have. And to be fair to them, they've played a fantastic game today, and you know they could have nicked it if we didn't really step it up at the end there. So I just want to say really good game to them.
Well done, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2015 men's doubles national champions, Chris Langridge and Marcus Ellis.
Positive words from the champions, Langridge and Ellis, but also a mention to the runners-up, Harley, TOWLER and Matt Nottingham. And I think for the two young men, this is just another step on their path to becoming potential future national champions. Harley TOWLER certainly one of the most improved players. Matt Nottingham showed today exactly what he's got in store for us in the future. As we just wait for the presentation team to come onto court.
Councillor David Shreves from Crawley Borough Council and Mr Jeff Rowe, President of Badminton England. We now invite Councillor David Shreves from Crawley Borough Council to make the presentation for the silver medalists for our 2015 men's doubles runners-up, Matthew Nottingham from Cheshire and Harley TOWLER from Lincolnshire. We now invite Mr. Jeff Rowe to make the presentation of the gold medals and trophies to our English National Badminton Champions for 2015 in the men's doubles. Please congratulate Marcus Ellis from Yorkshire and Christopher Langridge from Surrey. Ladies and gentlemen, for one last time.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us at the K2 Crawley. That concludes our coverage for today's action from the English National Badminton Championships. But if you want to catch more badminton, we've got tournaments and matches coming up. The Onyx All England Championships is in March, and also every month the new National Badminton League, both through live streaming and also on Sky Sports Live. So thank you once again for joining us, from myself and Nathan.
Thank you, Anthony. Been a pleasure, as always, crowning former, current, and now today new national champions. What a day.
Certainly is. And thank you, everybody, for taking part and being here. Bye-bye.